Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Air Hauler 2 with me, here 37. So our last flight, we got our rating in the Duke, the Beechcraft Duke B60. We crashed on the landing basically, but Air Hauler 2 said it was okay. So yeah, we passed somehow. And in this episode, what we're gonna do is we're going to fly down a passenger flight from Huntington, our base in Huntington, down to Jacksonville, Florida. I almost said Savannah. Jacksonville, and create our base. We do have scenery for Jacksonville. It's from Cielosim. I don't think we've ever shown that on my channel, I don't think. Because I don't think I've ever been to Jacksonville. Because there's so many freaking places down there. We have scenery and bases and stuff. We just never had, or never bothered to do with that, really. But yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to fly down there. I've already set up the plane. I can't remember how, the passenger flights. I'm sure it'll be all right. Just go ahead and show you the fuel. It's about 700 miles worth of fuel. Let's take a look at Flight Sim Commander. So at Huntington, the wind and everything is coming from the west. So we'll take off on runway 30, heading of 299 degrees. And down here at Jacksonville International, you can see the wind is coming from kind of like the east-southeast. So we'll land on runway 14. It's a heading of 137 degrees. There is an ILS here, 110.5. I kind of do this a little differently. Since it's such a big tower, it's just a big airport with a tower, you know, you're not going to come in and usually, I don't think do the traffic pattern or everything. It'll just bring you in. So we'll go straight over to the runway instead of getting in the traffic pattern and everything. Of course, when we go to smaller airports, we'll still do the traffic pattern and everything like that. Just in case you're wondering why we kind of do things differently at different airports. Because you wouldn't have really general aviation planes flying around at Jacksonville International anyway. Alright, so we'll get out of that and come over here. And we're going to do an ad hoc flight. And we're going to use our Duke B60 over here at Huntington, KHTS. We'll bring it up. We're going to go to Jacksonville, KJAX. And you can see it costs $325,000 open, so we'll have enough. We almost have enough for that. And wait, can I just see one thing? It's kind of weird. I've at the start of the week, this is Friday, at the start of the week on Monday, I put them all at 100%. You can see some of them still are getting dinged up. And this is kind of crazy that one's getting dinged up, 81%. Those are like our three most experienced pilots, or at least maybe they might not be the highest rated, but they've been our first three pilots, and they've done an insane amount of flights, and yet they've banged up the plane already 19%. They've banged it up worse than anyone. That's kind of crazy. All right, anyhow, let's go over back ad hoc flight, pick our plane again, and then we'll do KJAX, Jacksonville, Florida. All right, so let's check our, see, that's not totally true, though. I found that out. I'm thinking we can do probably close to 450 and get, see, that says 470. I'm going to go to 450 just to try and make sure that we're going to fill it up. Because when you do passenger flights, you have to check your and adjust your tickets prices to make sure you get them full. So you can see it's pretty cool how they do that. Operating cost 474 nautical miles, duration 188 minutes, a little over 3 hours. Estimated fuel 92 gallons. Fuel cost, it's going to cost about $534.57. Slot fees $9.26, landing fees $30.85. So the direct cost $654.50. Available seat miles 2,370. Cost seat per mile 28 cents. I'm kind of surprised by that. I saw on some website when I was getting the data for this plane, and someone said it costs like $811 an hour to operate a Duke B60. I don't know if that's true. That seems excessive. $811 an hour. Damn. Because this says direct, that's $654, and that's for like 3 hours of flying, so I don't know. Anyhow, we've got our fuel in there, tons of fuel actually. But I just want to make sure that we had enough. VFR, this is a pressurized, so we can go pretty high. I don't know how high we really want to go. We're going to the south, so we'll go odd. Let's go like 12.5. but it is pressurized, so we can go up higher if we want. Alright, small. We must have missed when, like, how much time you want at the gate, because it's not asking me. Anyhow, with that, let's go over. Yeah, it's not going to be last position either. Hopefully that'll be good right there at 1. Alright, so let's go over and get in the cockpit. Alright, people, just checking in. Passenger boarding starts in 4 minutes, so I can't really do anything right now, but I thought I'd show that. That's probably our people. Those are our pilots flying the planes. I think that's pretty cool how they inject that. They did that in Air Hauler as well, so that's pretty daggone sweet. By the way, it says passengers 75%. I don't know how that can be. We have 5 people, so it can't be 75%. Unless that's their satisfaction because we haven't started yet. I don't know. You can't have 75% when you have 5 people. Mathematically impossible. Yeah, those are our people. I'm almost positive. Alright, well, I'm not going to start up yet, obviously. I'm not going to sit here for 3 minutes. So we'll be back in 3 minutes. Alright, everybody. 12 seconds I'll get loaded in. Just look at something real quick down here in the bottom left. Ambient temperature is just over 80 degrees. I was talking about last episode about needing to keep the boost pumps on. If the ambient temperature is 90 or above, and is, like I said, it's not, so that's good. Alright, so it looks like we are going to have full passengers. 1 out of 5 so far. So we got about a minute to go. I didn't want to start the engines until everyone was loaded. Since we're a small plane like this and got props where everyone would technically be getting in. Over here on our door to the right, that's where they get in and out. Put the table out. You'll probably have a table too, though, right? That's the door. I don't know if I can get the table or not. Passengers boarded. 4 out of 5. We're almost there. Parking brake is set.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen.
Start up then taxi. Prop controls full forward. We're going to have to listen to her. Mixture controls auto cutoff. Battery switch coming on. Boost pump. By the way, if you hit Control E, this starts up the left engine first, not the right. So I'll switch how I do that. Boost pump coming on the left engine. Throttle to approximately 1,000 RPM, which is about a ½ inch. It says. And we come up 1, 2, 3. Cut that off. I'm going to go ahead and turn on our beacon as well. Comes the mags. Alright, that's started up. About 1,000 to 1,500. So we're good right there. Oil pressure. Oh, we're above the red mark, so it looks like that's good. Let's go ahead and turn our left generator on. And, alright, so go ahead and turn on the right. 1, 2, 3. Oh, shoot. No, don't do that. Don't do that. See, I hate how this is going to happen. This is going to work. Alright, so now, right engine. I gotta do it with the middle mouse wheel, which I'm not used to doing. So that's full forward. Alright, so we have... Let's see, where's our oil pressure? Where did it go? Alright, oil pressure on the right engine is good. Right generator coming on. And we can turn our boost pumps off. Which is good because they're actually kind of annoying. Nav switch coming on. We can go ahead and test here. Taxi and landing lights coming on. I'm just watching the load here. Alright, so that looks good. Taxi and landing go off. So that looks good. By the way, just go ahead and fully open the cowl flaps. Should have already had those open. Alright, so let's go ahead and turn our avionics. Want it to the top, the main one. There we go. Inverter is on. Master switch. Let's go ahead and turn on our electronics here. Go ahead and turn those on. I can go to standby, switch it over to VFR. Alright, we've got 7 minutes. Let's go ahead and turn our taxi light on. Obviously, I want to get there quicker than that. We'll get out of here early. Parking brake is off. Alright, let's taxi on over. By the way, 299er. The heading of the runway. Alright, a little more throttle here. Come on. Just a little too hard, I guess, with the friction trying to turn to the right if you don't have enough throttle in there. Alright, so now I'll bring it down a little bit. Resetting the altimeter. I've already actually done that, but just checking. So we're good there. Getting a little fast here. Alright. See if I can get the messages off this time. It's weird, I did it before. I couldn't do it last episode when we got our rating. Last time I like clicked it with the left and then the right or something and they found there it went off. It's weird how that's working. I wish they could make the GPS on would have made the GPS almost look better. Is that standard default one. Not a big fan. It looks big and clunky. Alright, we'll take this taxiway right here to the right to the runway. And then we'll get on our way. I know there's a few more things we need to turn on because I almost forget because they're not enlisted in the procedure. Like I said, this procedure isn't really a full one. Some of them they have full ones, some of them they don't. This one doesn't. Stopping right here. So I'm going to throw on windshield heat. Although, I don't know, is that, I guess that is windshield heat. Pitot heat. Prop heat. Let me just make sure that it's not like fluid. There it is, heat. Oh. Electric heat. There's click spots on here. And if you click that, like, we'll see the mouse change. If you click it, it like throws you down and stuff towards that area. Alright, so brakes, I did check them as we were taxiing over. The avionics are on, lights are as required. Cabin temperature mode, I'm not going to mess with that just yet. When we get up in the air, I guess we can check with that. Enunciator warning lights, we'll go ahead and test that. Instruments are good. Alright, so before takeoff checklists, put those in cross speed for 10 to 15 seconds. We're not going to be that early. Takeoff because we still got a few things to do. Looks like that's good. So let's go back to on. Instruments, like I say, everything looks good. Flaps, go ahead and set that. Alright. Fuel boost pumps coming on. And we'll now take this up to 2,000 RPM. The slightest movement of the joystick really bounces that up. Here's 2,000. Let's go ahead and check the mags. Looks good on the right engine. See, it didn't get the sound on the right one, so I hit start. That looks good right there. Bring the throttles back. Pressurization. We said 12.5. So go ahead and move this up. So be what, 12.6? I think you do an extra 100. Now see, that says altitude goal 10,500, so I can't get up to 2,500. That should be about 1,500, but yeah, 1,500, so that's good. So I thought you could take this thing up higher. We can stop at 10.5. We don't have to go to 12.5. Alright, gyro pressure, by the way. Last thing to check, looks good. The loads on the generators look good. Everything looks good. Alright, let's check. Clear to the left, clear to the right. Strobes, landing lights. Bring my yoke back. Alright, turn that over to altitude. Alright, let's go ahead and get on the runway. Get ready to go flying. Alright, get lined up here. Alright, let's go ahead and bring up the power. Off we go. Airspeed's alive. Hard to keep her straight. Alright, let's go ahead and rotate. A little late on that, actually. Tap the brakes. Gears coming up. I love that little bump when they fully come up. Departure was on time. That's good. Let's go ahead and retract the flaps. Trim it up just a little bit, not too much. Alright, now let's bring the cruise power back to about 35 and a half. That's pretty good right there. And we want our RPMs about 2750. Alright, they're both at 91% right there. Which is probably about 28. We might need to bring it back just a little bit. Alright, let's go ahead and turn to the left. By the way, another thing we need to do. I'm going to switch that from nav to GPS. And you know what? I've never messed with the autopilot on this plane. That's something I've never done. I didn't even think about checking that. Alright, so we want to maintain also our cylinder temperature below 225. We look good right there. Start to straighten her up. I don't have my hands on it. And see, now I have to trim it down more. Alright, she's probably going to come up a little too much again. Fuel flow should be about 194 pounds an hour. I'm going to have to find fuel flow again. Right there it is. And see, we're well below that. We never seem to have the right fuel flow. It's odd, no matter what plane it is. Like I say, I've never used the autopilot on this plane. So I'm not even sure where the switches for the autopilot are. We could try it, bringing up the 2D panels. So what did that say? To view the BC panel, press A. Right here it is, right in front of me. I'm blind sometimes. 10-5. Since that thing, I want to look after this and see how high we can actually go. Yaw damper should be already on. Flight director, autopilot. Sweet. It's looking good. Armament for the altitude. Vertical speed. There we go. I don't know why I would mess with that wheel. Climbing about 1,000 feet a minute for right now. That autopilot is really slick. By the way, we're about to cross that, so we hit nav. I really like that autopilot setup right there. It's like the others, but that operates so well. They did an awesome simulation with that. Especially compared to all the other guys. By the way, we can turn our taxi light off. There we go. I think we'll probably be good to go ahead and close our cow flaps. Just watch our cylinder head temperature, make sure it doesn't get up too much. Let's check our desired trek here, 182. Go ahead and turn our course to 22 as well. I usually turn it to the heading of the runway that we're going to land on, but I'll do that in a little bit. 78%, maybe that 75% from earlier was their satisfaction at the time. $465 miles. Everything looks really good. First time we've really flown this plane like this. I'll tell you about the cruise procedures. Set the power, obviously, that you want. Fuel flow, lean is required. Lean to recommended fuel flow if turbine inlet temperature is below 900 Celsius. By the way, I did see the TIT is over here. We'll have to find it again. Is it over here? Yeah, there it is. TIT. Right now they're at 648 Celsius. So it says lean is required. Lean to recommended fuel flow if turbine is below 900 Celsius. So we would need to lean it to the recommended fuel flow. That. I don't know. Do we want to go ahead and start leaning them? We'll go ahead and lean them to 90. Everything looks good so far. Airspeed is slowing down a little bit. Move that to 800 feet a minute. And you can see we're under 3 hours now, 461. It's a lot faster, I think, than the Baron, which is a good thing. Come up on 9,000 right there. We should lean this a lot more. You can hear the engines picking up. Yeah, our power's coming back to us. Look at our RPM, 2750. Actually, that's cool that it comes over there. 2740, so that's good. I'm happy with that. These, I'm sure, need to be leaned out a lot more. You hear them getting their power back. That's why we're slowing down so much. We need to watch that, though. Our cylinder head temperature is getting a little high. which I'm not crazy about. But we will bring the power back here in a second when we get up to 10.5. So we just crossed 10,000. Landing lights coming off. By the way, we have a light over here. Cabin altitude. Well, I know I brought it up. So I'm not sure what I can do about that because, like I said, we're set at 10.5. You see the pressurization rate coming down as we level out. So I don't know, we should be good. It's kind of interesting. Alright, so let's bring this back. Let's say 60%. And I'm going to put this, smooth this again. .86 and 86. I think that'll be good right there. Our speed isn't all that great, 186 knots. Look at our cylinder head temperature is still up. I don't know if we should lean it out more or not. I think our cylinder head temperatures are still just right at the edge, so I'm going to say that that's good. We got about 2.5 hours to go. We could add a little more power, I think, though. I'm going to leave it right there at 63. It's going to be hard to get it exact the way this thing moves so quick. Alright, but with that, let's go ahead and speed her on up. And I'll be back in just a little bit. Alright, everybody's slowing it down to normal speed here. So we got the airport up ahead, about 14 miles out. So we need to head on over to our runway. Runway 14. So this is heading right here. There we go. Heading. Go ahead and switch it over to nav. I do have the ILS frequency tuned in 110.5. Just in case we need it. We're heading on down to 2,500. By the way, I looked at this pressurization because I know I can go over 20. I'm thinking I'm around 24,000 feet, and you shouldn't just like hover over and go with that because it's got the plane. Here we go. That's the cabin altitude, not the aircraft altitude. So you can actually move that down, move that up, and everything. So I've got it at 10. It says times 1,000. So I guess that's 10,000. I don't know. It's kind of odd. Let's get the plane set up because I know I need to do a couple things. First off, 100% on the mixture. Cowl flaps are closed. Windshield anti-ice and defroster is required. On before descent to warm, moist air. I turned the defroster on. We're down low, so we can go ahead and turn that off. Pressurization is set. Power is required, so we're good there. Before landing, I don't know that we need to do that just yet. We'll go out a little further before we do the before landing checklist. Another 600 feet to go. We need to descend a little bit quicker. You can actually see that. So let's put that at 800 feet a minute. Let's go ahead. I kind of want to actually, I know those need to go at full high RPM. Pressurization 0, differential pressure. It's actually hiding now behind the fuel mixture. Alright, you can see that. That looks good. Fuel boost pumps, we need to turn those on. So those are on. Prop synchronizer off. I turned that on, so we need that off. Mixture full rich. Propeller set at 2750. Actually, 2750? So we need to bring those down. Alright, so that's pretty much where we want them. I think we need to get lower. Well, we're at 2,500 still. Autopilot coming off. Yaw damper off. And make sure. Yeah, there we go. Alright, this should be interesting. Does that say inner marker? So we gotta be a lot closer than I thought. I thought that would be outer marker. $137 on our heading. There we go. Looking a lot better now. Reset my views again. I'm going to go ahead and bring down the power. Let's try to trim it a little better as well. You can see the simulation of the water there. Pretty cool. I looked for wipers. I didn't see a wiper on here. So I'm trying to get the gear down. I think we might be... The gear should be fine at this speed. There it goes. Flaps to 1. That really screwed things up because I had to pull us up in the air. Alright, we're at full flaps. Yeah, that was definitely not good. I think there might be an off position in the gear. Perhaps that was it. Alright. Increasing power here. It's probably a little too much power because it got our speed way up. Right there. Hear the wind. Oh, I did it right at too early. Daggone it. See, it says the landing was okay again. This is very odd. I practiced with this plane before, and I landed fine, and now I can't land it. Alright, so we're pretty much screwed because I can't taxi. We came down hard. I mean, it obviously wasn't a good landing, but damn. I'm kind of stuck because we're stuck here because I can't taxi it. And the passengers did not like that either. Oh, that is it going to pop back up? Are you going to tell me that the gear... No, the gear's down. Alright. Because it feels like the plane... No, the gear is down. Alright. This is odd. I mean, you saw me pull up and we were coming in a little too fast. And when I pulled up and we got too much altitude... Like I say, we were coming down too quick, and I know we were. I'm gonna go ahead and retract the flaps. Man, this is odd. Horrible landings going on. The first one, it wasn't my fault, because the jaggeds didn't help anything. But that one was totally, obviously me. Yeah, I'm gonna have to practice again with this plane. I didn't have problems with it before. Landing lights and strobes coming off. Man, oh day. Alright, so let's look at this after landing. Got our lights off, the flaps are up. Can open up the cow flaps. It doesn't say anything about leaning the mixture. Stop the recording. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off all the heats. It's warm down here in Jacksonville, I'm sure. Yeah, it's getting close to 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Alright, we'll taxi out to the right. I think it looks like that's where most of the buildings are. I did turn that off, I believe. Alright, so now we're good. I think, well, if it's above 90, you can keep the fuel pumps on. Boost pump switches above 90. So I'll do that. Yeah, these landings, not good. Kind of gets my confidence down with this plane. So I'm going to have to work a little more. I don't know. But I'm pretty sure we were fast as well. We were approaching the ground really quick when I pulled up. That's one thing about when I try to flare. For some reason, I end up always pulling up a little too hard and quick instead of just gently flaring it. And there, you know, we climbed. We actually gained altitude, which isn't good because then you're really kind of screwed. Really, you need to think about going around because now you're up higher and you're slowing down. It's easy to stall out. So that probably would have been the best thing to do, is just go around. I have no idea where to park. I'm going over to those buildings to the right. The only place I noticed. We got Southwest over here at the gate. I would have thought we'd have seen more traffic over here. I don't know, it's Jacksonville's, I mean, it's a big international airport. I'm not sure how big. You can see it does look pretty daggone good. Cielosim, I believe is how you pronounce theirs. I'll put a link in the description. I'm not sure if I want to follow that taxi line down there or not. Let's go for it. See what's down here. Yeah, but gotta do better, man. Those are just terrible landings. Never been to Jacksonville before. I'm not really sure where this is going to take us. We could just come down here and park, I guess. Like I say, I was going to go to those buildings on down to the right. But maybe we just come over here and park. I don't really want to go up to the gates. We'll just go straight ahead. Either to this building or straight ahead. I think to the right would probably be the best bet. Let's go over here. We just kind of go to wherever we want. Like a rogue plane. Yeah, we'll park her right here. Alright. So, get rid of this yoke. Put our parking brake on. Taxi light, you come off. Shut down. Parking brake is set. Battery. Check the condition. It looks good over here to me. Electrical and avionics equipment. I can go to... Alright. Put that same one. That's off, off. Off. So that's all good. Cabin temp mode off. I did turn that to cool earlier. So I'll turn that off. Propellers, low pitch, high RPM. They are. Throttles to 1,000 RPM. Alright, fuel boost pumps come off. Mixtures, go to idle cutoff. Magnetos off after the engine stop. Flight completed 2,250. Passenger satisfaction 99 because of the horrible landing. I'll go back over here and finish shutting her down. If it'll let me. Come on. Oh, great. Let's go back to Air Hauler 2. Just in case that thing black screens. So, finish the flight monitoring. I hadn't finished shutting it down. Although, well, I guess technically all we had left was the battery and generator switches anyway. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. All the switching around and stuff. Okay, so takeoff time, 7:55, land at 10:31. So, would that be... That would have to be UTC time, though. Well, I guess it could be PM, but it should have been about dark. So it was 2 hours, 35 minutes. Takeoff fuel, 806 pounds. Landed with 243. Max altitude, 10,501 feet. Max pitch, negative 12.23. Max roll, negative 28. Let's see. Max speed, 179.79 knots. Minimum G, 0.79. Minimum G exceeded 0. Max G is 1.65. Max G exceeded 1. That was that landing. Stall false, overspeed false, landing description okay. Gear down. Oh, was that the problem? I'm going to have to check with the gear showed down. That could have... Well, how did it not break up the plane? All right, because I remember when we were coming in on final, I was having a problem getting the gear down. Maybe it just didn't make the sound, and that's what confused me. And when I brought it up, it brought them back up. I'm going to have to check that. because I'll be able to see that in replay. That's crazy. Maybe that was the damn problem. Surface concrete. How's there no damage to anything if the gear weren't down? Landing speed 177 feet a minute. Still pretty high. Landing speed 78.3 knots. Landing pitching at 5.27. Landing roll negative 1.18. Landing heading 143. Landing wind speed 13. Wind direction 170. So was the gear in fact not down? We'll see that in the replay. Because when I hit for the gear down, I heard nothing. So I was like, And that's when I hit it again. I thought I heard it going down. That's why I mentioned maybe there's an off position for it. But if the gear wasn't down, how come we didn't do any damage to the plane? Very interesting, and I'm not sure what the heck happened. We'll see it in the replay, though, like I said. Because when I came outside, I didn't think the gear was down. Then we went out again, I checked, and the gear were in fact down. It's very odd. Very, very odd. A reputation log. Should we be all the way to the bottom? $714 passenger flight. It doesn't really show any of those. What the heck is going on with that? We should have a passenger rep. That's odd. Must be that passenger flight complete because it doesn't list anything. That must be us. Alright, well, that kind of sucks that we can't see it. We made some decent money, and that kind of shows you how much money we'll make off on the passenger flights. So that's pretty good. What, $2,200 each way or so? And actually, I'll show you this. And we can bump up the price. I think I set it at $420 for here. What in the world? How is this not saved? Unbelievable. How did that not save? Yeah, that sucks. I'll set that back up. Damn it. I don't know what happened there. Or no, I know what it is. Beechcraft Baron 58. That's the one. That's the one. And we can check that. Sector details. Yeah, 400. So we can bump that up. But that still carries 5 people, so it's about really the same amount of money. Alright, well, that was a crazy flight. I don't know if the gear was up or down. I guess we'll see in the replay. But I hope you all did like the episode, everybody. And I'll see you guys on the next flight. Actually, cut that. Coming back in, almost forgot we need to set up a base here. How could I forget? Alright, let's open our base. I actually remember where it was for once. Jacksonville, the only place where we have a plane where we don't have a base. Let's go ahead and set this thing up. Building a base here will cost $125,000 monthly. It'll be $41. It'll be complete $714 or $719. That's 5 days. I thought the longest would take like 3. That kind of sucks. But I guess by the time that opens up, we'll be able to buy a plane. We got $353,000. Yeah, I need like a little over $150,000. But of course, we're gonna have bills coming up soon. They go throughout the month, so I'll get some. Make sure we have some cushion there before we go buying another one. Because we could take out a bank loan, but maybe not. Maybe we'll do that in the next episode. Then I don't know. I work for the next 3 days, so I'm not sure how much I'll be flying anyway. Now that's gonna be in the episode, everybody. I hope y'all did like it. Catch you guys on the next flight.